Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is, well, it's pretty laser focused. We are diving headfirst into the current U.S. job market. We're trying to answer that one burning question.
The one that everyone seems to be asking.
Exactly. Where are the jobs right now?
And for this deep dive, we're working with an incredible data set. It's like a real-time compass for what's happening.
Right.
Our main source is a new CNBC report by Sarah Jackson. And what she does is she crunches the numbers from LinkedIn's annual Jobs on the Rise list.
And this isn't just about, the most common jobs. It's about the 25 fastest growing ones.
The growth is the key, the velocity.
And the time frame they use for the data is so important here because it's capturing what's accelerating right now, not just what was big last year.
Exactly. The scope is very specific. They tracked millions of jobs that LinkedIn members started over a really active period. We're talking between January 1st, 2023, and then looking forward to July 31st, 2025.
Wow, so it's predictive too.
It is. And to even get on the list, a job title had to show consistent positive growth. So, not just a temporary fad. And it had to grow to what they call a meaningful size. So we're really just focusing on established, expanding career paths.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We've got this massive verified window of data showing us exactly where the growth is. And when you look at just the top 10 roles, two major, almost, contradictory trends just jump right out. They define the whole landscape.
It's fascinating, isn't it? The market is clearly being pulled in two different directions at once.
Totally.
On one side, you have this intense hyper-specialization in cutting-edge tech. We're talking mostly artificial intelligence. But on the other side, you see this massive pull towards, well, career autonomy, self-employment.
So it's either be the deepest possible expert for a big company or
Be your own strategic operator. It's a real split.
let's start with the specialization side.
Yeah.
When we talk about AI, it's not just data science anymore, is it? It's much more specific.
Oh, absolutely. These are highly niche AI development roles that are setting the pace for hiring. In fact, jobs in AI make up 3 of the top 5 positions on this list.
3 of the top 5.
Yeah, it just shows this accelerating momentum that's really going to define the next few years of employment. This is where the highest salaries are, the most acute talent shortages. It's all driving that rapid growth.
But then, right alongside that tech intensity, you have the entrepreneurial surge. It's such a stunning contrast. We've got strategic advisors and independent consultants coming in strong at number 7, and then founders at number 9. I mean, people are just choosing to work for themselves on a massive scale.
And the data around that founder trend, that's where this becomes a real structural story, not just a cyclical one. The number of LinkedIn members adding founder to their profile climbed a staggering 60% year over year.
60% in 1 year. That feels like a generational shift in priorities.
It really does. And if you look back even further, that number has nearly tripled since 2022. Yeah. So this isn't just a few people starting a side hustle. This points to a significant mainstream shift. You have professionals who might have once aimed for a senior executive role, and now they're just leveraging their experience to build their own careers.
Outside the traditional corporate ladder.
Exactly. Seeking more control and maybe higher leverage for their skills.
That is a tectonic shift. The corporate structure is leaking talent from the top. But let's look at the engines driving the pure employment side of this, especially in tech. Let's break down that top 5.
Right, because the top 5 roles really show the intensity of this AI arms race.
Okay, so at the very top, number 1 is the AI engineer. And if you want to know what skills are commanding the highest premiums right now, look no further. It's things like long-chain retrieval augmented generation, or RG and PyTorch.
We should probably explain what those are, because they are basically the keys to the kingdom right now. So RB, Retrieval Augmented Generation, is what makes a large language model like the ones we all use actually factual. It's the process of connecting that LLM to external fact-check databases so it doesn't just, make stuff up.
So it's the skill that makes AI trustworthy, makes it useful in a real business setting.
Precisely. And PyTorch is one of the foundational open-source machine learning frameworks.
Got it.
These skills define the absolute cutting edge. And the jobs are clustered geographically. San Francisco, New York City, and Dallas are the big 3.
And the people getting these jobs, they're coming from highly technical backgrounds. Software engineers, data scientists, full-stack engineers. It's a pretty natural next step for them.
Then at number 2, we see the strategic side of AI, the AI consultant and strategist. The skills here shift a bit. It's more about understanding large language models, or LLMs, machine learning product strategy, and computer vision.
I like that distinction. So it's less about building the code from scratch and more about figuring out how to apply it, how to turn the raw tech into an actual product for a client.
That's it, exactly. And that's reflected in who's transitioning into these roles. You see founders, software engineers, and project managers.
People who get the business context.
Right. And the cities are pretty similar: San Francisco, New York City, and Boston.
Which brings us to number 5, AML researchers. And it just reinforces that same pattern. The skills are PyTorch, deep learning, computer vision. And the top hiring cities are, you guessed it, San Francisco, New York City, and Boston again.
So if we connect the dots for you here, there's a clear geographic truth emerging. 3 of the top 5 fastest growing jobs are almost exclusively in these 3 coastal and financial hubs. The infrastructure, the funding, the talent, it's all concentrated there.
But wait, this is where that contradiction we talked about just hits you over the head.
Yes.
Smack in the middle of all these AI giants, at number 3 is a totally non-tech role, new home sales specialist. This isn't about code, it's about concrete.
It's the perfect contrast. While the AI jobs are in those big finance and tech hubs, this role is hyper-specific to the surging Sunbelt cities:
Where are we talking?
Houston, Dallas, and Orlando.
It's the physical economy just booming in parallel with the digital one. The skills are classic real estate, buyer representation, closing transactions.
And the people moving into the role are real estate agents and sales managers. It's a powerful reminder that population shifts and physical expansion are still massive job creators.
A fascinating duality.
It really is. It shows that even in this high-tech economy, migration is an incredibly powerful, localized driver.
And then back to the data world at number 4, we have a role that I think just perfectly describes the modern internet, data nurturers. It sounds like a blend of, I don't know, a techie and a creative.
That's exactly what it is. It's this hybrid role that blends technical data analysis with content production. Their common skills are things like SEO, copywriting, content marketing, content production.
So the data nurturer is the person who looks at a spreadsheet full of metrics and then turns that into a killer headline or an optimized blog post that Google will actually find.
Yes. They bridge that gap between the algorithm and the human audience. They take the raw data and make sure the content is shaped and deployed effectively to actually engage people.
And who's becoming a data nurturer?
The transition roles make perfect sense. Content manager, editor, and data analyst, it's that true hybrid. And they're hiring heavily in Austin, New York, and San Francisco.
Okay, let's push past the top 5 into roles 6 through 10. This is where that strategic, non-technical business growth gets a lot more diverse.
Right, looking at the back half of the top 10, we start to see established sectors that are now demanding really high-level strategic help. Number 6, healthcare reimbursement specialist, is a perfect example. It's a job born from complexity.
I mean, given how complicated the U.S. healthcare system is, that makes total sense. You need experts who can navigate Medicare, Medicaid reimbursement, prior authorization.
It's a huge regulatory and financial bottleneck.
And someone has to clear it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the hiring cities, New York, Chicago, LA, show this is a national need driven by the sheer complexity of the healthcare industry.
And now we hit those autonomy roles again. This is where that C-suite movement becomes so clear. Number 7, strategic advisors and independent consultants.
This is where the story of structural change really hits home. Just look at who is transitioning into this role: Chief Executive Officer, CEO, Founder, Chief Operating Officer, COO.
Wow. So these are top leaders, people who used to run entire companies who are now moving into these project-based advisory roles.
It suggests a major shift. Companies seem to be relying less on massive, expensive in-house strategy teams.
And more on bringing in proven, high-caliber experts for specific projects. It's like strategy on demand.
It's the de-risking of strategy, and the geography supports it. New York, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C., the centers of finance, tech, and policy are driving this demand.
Number 8 brings us to advertising. Advertising sales specialist.
The focus is on media planning, social media operations, SMO, and paid social. The demand is still high here because the media landscape has just fractured so dramatically. You need specialists who can navigate paid social effectively.
And we're seeing hiring in New York, Detroit, and Atlanta, which are, both old and new media hubs.
And at number 9, we circle back to that explosive growth of the entrepreneur, the founder.
The skills listed here really show how versatile you have to be. It's startup leadership, brand development, and crucially, software development. You have to lead and build.
The transition roles are really telling. Software engineer, product manager, managing director. It shows that successful founders often have that deep product or engineering experience to actually execute their vision.
It's not just an idea.
Right.
And finally, rounding out the top 10, we have sales executives at number 10. This isn't your average sales job, though. The skills are high level.
Yeah.
Sales management, international sales, sales strategy.
Yeah, just like the strategic advisor role, this shows a demand for that executive layer of expertise. The top people transitioning into this role include VPs of global sales, COOs, and VPs of business development. High-level sales leadership is clearly a critical growth area.
And the top cities are Los Angeles, New York, and Dallas, tying together the big coastal markets with that economic hub in Texas.
So when you take a step back and look at this whole top 10 list, what's the clear guidance for you, the listener?
I think here's the essential takeaway. If your main goal is quick growth inside the formal job market, you really have two big paths. First, get those deep AI technical skills. We're talking Arch and PyTorch. Second, master that blend of content and data. Become one of those data nurturers who can handle SEO, copywriting, and production.
And if your goal is more about autonomy, about maximizing the value of the experience you already have, then the consultant and founder paths are just growing exponentially. We saw strategic advisors coming from the C-suite and that founder role tripling in just a couple of years. The market is really rewarding independence.
But I'd say don't ignore that top roles transition from data.
Yeah.
That data is an invaluable map. It shows you exactly which career paths are successfully feeding into these growing fields. If you are a software engineer or a data scientist, the data is basically screaming that you're on the clearest path to a top AI role.
And if you're a CEO, it suggests that becoming a strategic advisor is a high-growth move that directly monetizes everything you already know. It gives you tangible proof points for how to navigate your career. It shows you where the talent pools are merging to create these new opportunities.
Absolutely. So we saw the founder role and the strategic consultant role, both focused on autonomy, on external project work growing like crazy, and they're often being filled by former senior corporate leaders like CEOs and COOs. So that movement suggests companies are swapping permanent overhead for on-demand expertise. So here's a final provocative thought for you to explore as you process this deep dive. Considering this massive increase in founders and strategic consultants, what does that imply for the future of the traditional corporate structure? If companies are outsourcing their highest level strategy and tech development, how might that affect long-term stability and career paths for everyone else, for those mid-level professionals? Is the future of high-value work inherently freelance?
That is the question shaping the next decade of employment. Something profound to ponder until our next deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.